I recently made a new watercolor palette, which means I get to break it in. I'm digging through my concept art sketchbook for an illustration that I've had on my mind for quite some time, but just haven't gotten around to doing a finalized version. And it is this worm right here. This little guy has been sitting in my sketchbook for about 2 years now, just waiting for me to redraw him and get him all cleaned up. To save a little bit of headache, I have scanned it into my computer and I'm resizing it and using my monitor as a light box just to get it transferred onto the paper to start the reworking process. So usually I do not record my penciling or sketches, but this time I really feel like I should have because holy crap did this change. I originally just wanted to change a little bit of the background, but then the perspective was bothering me, and you can see just how much changed between these two illustrations. Now, I haven't been able to do my own personal illustrations for a little while now. I've been so busy with pet portraits and breaking in this new watercolor palette of mine. I really wanted to do something that was for me. And with how long this illustration has been living in my head, I thought this would be the perfect time. I would also like to say that going into this process, I really beat the crap out of the paper. Typically, you don't want to over erase or handle your watercolor paper too much because you don't want it to get wrecked. And with this particular sketch, I was doing a lot of erasing and reworking, and I really put this paper through the ringer. And this kind of made me nervous for actually starting the watercolor process, but you'll see later how that turned out. I'm a little shaky. Maybe I shouldn't have had coffee before doing this. A little nerve-wracking. So I've been wanting to speak on the topic of how long art takes for quite some time now, and I decided to film this whole video, well, most of this video, in real time and just cut it that way to show viewers and consumers of art how long some of these things actually take. You can see my inking takes time, and I'm purposely going slow and making deliberate lines so I don't mess it up somehow. So a lot of younger artists are coming into the art scene and the art world, seeing all of these time-lapse videos or well-cut and edited videos, and thinking that you can rip out a painting or drawing in no time at all and it'll be awesome, when in fact that's not the case at all. Here I've switched back over to time-lapse, and you can't tell how long each stroke takes. I just wanted to bring this up because I do know lots of artists feel stress about how fast they can produce an image. And even now, I still feel like I don't make enough art to feed the algorithm and in turn get me the likes and the views and the shares and the subscribes to become a successful artist. When in fact, the truth is, it's okay to make slow art. The line work didn't take very much for this, but the concept needed time to stew. I needed time to develop my skills to turn that sketch into what it is. And I'll just pause that topic for a moment. This is the palette I've chosen to paint this illustration. I'm basing it off of an illustration from 2 years ago. That's how I chose my colors. I based a lot of changes of this illustration off of that older illustration. I really wanted to make it feel like it was a continuation. And back to the topic at hand, that wouldn't have happened if I had gone straight from the concept into making it a full-blown illustration the same year I'd come up with it. I really did need time to form more ideas and thoughts for this world I've been creating. And I just want to say, if you're out there right now and you're struggling to produce work and post it online and do all of your social media marketing while producing your work, and you're still maybe a beginner or have just started this journey, don't get yourself all tied up in knots over this, because it is okay to make slow art. You need time to think. Sometimes a piece isn't working for you. You need to set it down and move on. Sometimes you got to pump out those quick sketches and let them be awful and let them live in your sketchbook for a couple years and come back to them. It's okay. And this sentiment can be felt across multiple creative disciplines. Writers sometimes need to stew on a concept for a while. Writers sometimes can't just like type every day thousands of words and be like, pumped out a novel. It doesn't work like that. Our brains really do need to process information and organize it in whatever way it needs to organize it. And that's okay. And like, I get it, if you are already working within the creative industry, you may not have the luxury of making slow art. And that's the nature of the beast too. You have deadlines to meet. I know that firsthand working with pet portraits. I always make sure I have a timeline in which I can give my clients the product that they are buying from me. And a part of that is learning your limits. A lot of artists start getting burnout or even depressed because they push themselves so hard to create so much and pump out as much work as they can for either their clients or themselves or social media. And they get burnt out and they start to not like the creative process, or they start getting depressed and they turn away from this amazing thing that they do. So if you're out there and you're feeling the pressure to produce artwork, please know that you don't have to break your soul or your wrists pumping out all the art you can all at once. It is okay to take your time. And sometimes it's a skill thing too. At the beginning of this video, I showed you the original concept idea for this drawing, and what I could produce even 2 years ago, 3 years ago, is nothing like what I can produce now. And that's a good thing. I'm very happy I still took the time to draw those ideas down, even though they weren't completed ideas. But the fact that I have them archived down in sketchbooks all over the place, it means I can go back to them when I'm ready to go back to them. It doesn't have to be perfect, because you can always try again. You can always redraw the thing. And this sentiment of slow art, or this idea of slow art, can even be expanded into how we consume art. We are constantly being bombarded by image after image after image, and it's being shoved down our throats as fast as we can handle it. And it doesn't give us much time to really comprehend what we're seeing. So, you want to take a week to sketch out a rough draft? That's okay. You're not progressing as fast as some of your peers? That's okay. You dislike the pace of social media and it makes you feel like you need to pump out art? That's okay. It's okay to go slow and at your own pace. Society in general seems to really push for the most content in the least amount of time, and it doesn't leave us much time to think and absorb what we are seeing and doing. Efficiency does have its place, and deadlines can be good, but never sacrifice your well-being or the quality of what you are doing to appease some hidden metric like an algorithm because it thirsts for quantity and speed. Keep on your path and take it one step at a time, because no matter how long that step takes you, you took it and it will get you there. When I originally started editing this video, I didn't have it planned out to talk about slow art. It wasn't until about halfway through when I really started thinking about this topic. And this has been a topic that I've thought about time and time again. And like this worm here, It has always kind of been in the back of my mind, and I'm glad I talked about it during this video. I hope you enjoyed this. Please take time to soak this illustration in. I had so much fun painting this. I hope you enjoy, and I'll see you next time.